Sword drawing? Goodness me.
I'm struggling with my sword.
That's right.
I'm struggling with...
My name is Philip Walker, cameraman. I'm traveling across Japan with Faye Goodman on her journey to achieve 7th Dan in iaido. Probably the first Western woman to aspire to this grade. Twice a year in Japan, a grading in iaido is held. Practitioners from around the country come together to face the challenge. There are set number of years between gradings. No shortcuts and no quick access to each honor. At the higher levels in particular, patience and dedication to training is everything. The minimum time between 6th and 7th Dan is 6 years. Another 10 years before 8th Dan can be attained. While the samurai were outlawed long ago, the ritual and prowess associated with this deadly blade brought with it an understanding of perfection. Today, the same art is assimilated in the practice of iaido, the art of drawing the Japanese sword. Despite its elegance, it demands great inner strength, focus, technique, concentration, ability, and dexterity, drawing together the mind and body into a single movement for those who have the patience to adhere to its strict regimes. The journey to perfection for the samurai is a journey rarely undertaken by anyone outside of Japan, particularly by a woman. Faye was born with a passion for music. As a result, China Doll was formed. She found her yin and yang in life as she brought music and martial arts together.
She comes from Yardley in Birmingham, and to help compensate for her small size, she's something of a black belt at karate. This is her latest record. It's called Turkish Delight.
Apart from being a singer, you're a black belt and a second Dan. How did that happen?
Well, my brother came home one day and started practicing on me. And I was watching him doing a kata in the garden. I was quite fascinated by it, so I asked if I could go down to the club and join him. And it all started from there. They were all men and I was the only girl, but they were all very respectful, but I still had to do everything they did. Yeah. So it was a very good foundation for me.
And you're now a very dangerous lady.
Faye was only 6 years old when she opened a geisha box of makeup, a present from her father, and fell in love with Japan.
we've arrived at Tokyo Station, come up about 5 flights of escalators and trying to get to the Toledo line. This will take us straight to Kawasaki, and with all this luggage, goodness knows how we're going to get up the stairs and the escalators. I'm going to be very, very fit after all this, I can assure you. I'm pretty safe. Seriously. Right, we're on our way to Sanryusuji. This is Shido Sensei's dojo, the first night. I'm feeling very tired, suffering from jet lag. So I don't know what performance is going to be like. And I'm going to be picking up the sword, so it should be really interesting.
Faye first met Ishido Sensei on one of his visits to England. She experienced excellence in his dedicated style of teaching and ability to share traditional Japanese arts. Faye has picked up a borrowed sword, but is it a little too long and too heavy?
I've just done 6 hours training and I feel absolutely wrecked. Could do a good night's sleep, wash my hair, get up in the morning, and I've got to start again at 9:30 and it'll go on till about 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Both children and senior citizens have a place in the dojo. Iaido training is based on set forms, known as kata. Katas are what you might call combat recipes designed for the most effective defense or attack. These techniques have been refined over centuries and secretly taught to the innermost circle of students. A samurai was always ready to defend or attack in all circumstances, good or bad.
This has been my home for the past week, and it's going to be my home for the next week. It's been another good day. Been training this morning with Shido Sensei, going through the etiquette and what I have to do on the grading. In fact, I think it hit me today just how frightening the experience is going to be. I felt butterflies the size of elephants. And I thought, what on earth am I doing here? Have I made the right decision? But yes, I have. It's worth trying. It is a wonderful experience. I'm going to just act like a sponge, really, absorb as much knowledge as I can. And I've got to try and then make sure it becomes very natural, second nature, so that on the day, the nerves are going to be horrendous. And that's when your technique and keeping calm is really going to have to come into its own. I don't know, I've been told to expect a quite frightening experience, so Well, we'll find out soon.
Even samurai have to eat, so we take a night off. Ishido Sensei's sister Shizuyo takes us to a well-known boat restaurant that's upside down.
Iaido. What's the difference between kendo and iaido?
Iaido is using the sword.
So you actually use those
Kendo is, you know, I'm not...
Watch out for those chopsticks. So it's the art form of kendo.
Eating raw fish. Very nice.
There is nothing quite like Tokyo's nightlife. It is customary for Faye to double-check, to triple-check, and check again.
Karakuma. Karakuma. Oh, no. The next one. Okay. This is not Karakuma.
Karakuma?
Oh, I don't.
All right, this is Kita.
Kita.
Kita kama. Yeah. Kama kena mau one.
Next one. Ah, thank you. Oh, oh, thank you.
Puro kasa.
Oh, thank you. Next one. Oh, that might as well as today.
Ai.
Thank you very much.
Shichi-go-san is a traditional rite of passage and festival day for children. Shrines will be filled with children aged 3, 5, and 7, dressed in kimono for girls and hakama for boys. It is like stepping back in time. The origin is said to be about 700 years old. At that time, infant mortality was high because of poverty and hunger. It is an important event to give thanks and prayers for the children growing up safely, and also for the future and longevity of reaching this milestone. Faye is meeting her longtime Japanese friend, Chikako.
Chikako was just saying that this road was made by a shogun, Yoritomo, who wanted a boy.
Yeah.
It is all here, and he was told that if he made a road, a pathway straight to the shrine, he would have a boy, and apparently he did. So now we know how to have boys. Build a road to your house.
When I was practicing iaido in this town, we had demonstration on this stage. It was very nice.
These here
Let's to make a wish.
to make a room.
So you write down what you are wishing for and put it there.
You can put it anywhere. You can put it anywhere. make a wish. You can't sort of just unlucky. Have you put this anywhere? Bashing bridge, and it says taiko is like
So it's drum bridge.
drum bridge. Because of the big circle. Taiko bashing. Oh, does bashing mean bash?
No, just sorry. Bridge.
Shinto shrines and Buddhist temples invite visitors to purify their body and mind before entering the sacred ground. When the mind is clear, endless possibilities arise.
You should come back within the year and apparently put your lucky charms back in that place. Then they burn it, and that means it's bring you good fortune.
It's like looking after the used ones. That they finish their job
And then you have to
they'll
buy
be
another one.
returned. Yeah, the lucky charms will be returned to.
So I have a good excuse to come back to Japan to bring my lucky
Yeah.
charms.
よくすっごい立派なカメラですけどね。
はい。
なると大丈夫ですよ。
To produce the perfect sword requires years of practice and a deep knowledge of the forging process. Masamune, one of the most famous swordsmiths in Japan, made swords of exceptional beauty and quality.
But it takes me a long time.
Chikako has arranged for Faye to interview Masamune's descendant, who continues the family tradition today.
だいたい20歳ぐらいだ20、刀は日本の法律で年間12本12本で24本しか使う。まあ大体基本的には合ってると思うけど、まあ罪名だと4本の目切ったやつね。だからそれが皇室に1本、それから徳川美術館に2本。だから各大名ね、昔の、将軍クラスの人たちは、その自分の家の宝物の第一にやっぱり政宗が欲しいって。刀をね、だいたい11人以上の職人の手を買って初めて完成するわけ。まあ日本で一番うまいっていうかね、やっぱり他の人は真似ができないっていう。
Do you think your son will follow the family tradition of making swords?
息子さんは後継がれると。
さあ分からない今オペラやってる。
That's lovely. じゃあさっきあれもらったからギフトにします。
プレゼント。
Oh, どうもありがとうございました。Thank you, thank you. I don't know what to say.
なんとお礼言っていいか
Oh,
わ
it's
かん
very
ない
kind.
です。
Thank
すい
you.
ませ
Thank
ん。
you.
Japan's famous bullet train, the Shinkansen, is taking us to Okayama. We will be staying with Faye's friend and fellow practitioner, Trevor Jones. Trevor is a 7th Dan in iaido and will be helping Faye to prepare for her grading.
We're just approaching Ohara town, which is the birthplace of Miyamoto Musashi, the statue of whom you can see just there on the bridge. And he's probably the most famous samurai that ever lived.
Trevor has lived for many years in Japan, close to the mountains, in a very small house.
Sorry.
This prefecture, Okayama Prefecture's nickname is Hare no Kuni. Hare meaning sunny and clear, Kuni country. So it's the sunshine country of Japan, because it gets, on average, it gets more sunny days per year than any other area of Japan.
In these idyllic surroundings, it's easy to forget about the purpose of our journey. Musashi Budokan represents all traditional martial disciplines. A spectacular futuristic design based on an ancient samurai armor or an alien spaceship.
And that's wonderful, the same shape of the actual circumference of the sword in the ceiling.
You walk in here and it's more like a sports hall, and you forget to bow.
Yes, that's true.
You go to the Musashi dojo and you cannot help but bow before setting foot on the floor, because the feeling is totally, I mean, this is a wonderful place, you know.
Yes.
It's a magnificent arena, but it's not like a dojo. It hasn't got the feeling of a training hall dojo.
This is very impressive. It's a magnificent building. I suppose it does make me start to think about what the venue is going to be like, where the gradings are going to take place. And it has a wonderful air of the competitive element here, but in a good sense. The kendo, you compete, but even when you lose, there's this wonderful degree of vulnerability. I'd love to come here again when they have a kendo competition, because I would imagine the dynamics and the sound must be quite incredible. I'd especially like to see the young children, because I love watching children practice martial arts. It's really lovely.
I should get commission for a number of people I bring in and buying postcards. England. Yes, London. Edinburgh. Beautiful city, Edinburgh. Lovely country. This is the Musashi Dojo as it used to be 12 years ago, before the area became more touristy and they built the gardens and the hotel behind it. When we used to go training, we used to just drive right up to the door on the gravel area and just park there and walk in.
As we enter the original Musashi dojo, you can almost feel the presence of the master himself.
I think this is what I should have in my backyard if I could. This is a much better place to practice. This is what you would call a real dojo.
The greatest swordsman of Japan is still in the hearts of many Japanese people. The most important duel between Musashi and his longtime rival Kojiro Sasaki is brought back to life. Musashi remained unbeaten as a master of the two-sword technique, committing his life to writing, painting, and solitude. He died at the age of 62, buried on Mount Iwato. Many iaido and kendo practitioners visit the shrine of this legendary swordsman to honor and remember his legacy.
Okay, what is the purpose of the picture with the two cogs?
I think the building of this place was sponsored by Campbell's Chicken Soup.
But here they must physically stop the car, look both ways before going across. Even though there's only one train every 3 days, and it's not flashing, and you can see for 100 yards in each direction because it's clear, they still have to physically stop. I once asked someone, why do you stop when you know there's not a train and there's no signal warning you there's a train coming? What is it you're looking for? Are you looking for a train? I said, no, we're looking for police.
In the heart of the mountains of Okayama, within this majestic setting, sits an impressive house. This is the home of Haruna Sensei. Haruna Sensei was Faye's main teacher. His gentle yet empowering style remains her inspiration. And just before Faye took her 6th Dan iaido grading, he said, "Use your kokoro and kimochi, your true heart and true feeling." The family has kindly allowed Faye to use the house dojo in preparation for her grading. Faye will be receiving teaching and guidance from Trevor. He will share important points on sword technique, balance and form for Faye to practice.
Horizontal. You're going down and up, which if you think of doing that on Ippon there, if you exaggerate it, that you would, say is wrong. Yeah, you do it that way, you push out. You don't push down and up. So, So for me, it tends to come around the knee about there. Whereas you tend sometimes to throw the tip way out there. See what I mean? Don't let the tip. That's better. So you're controlling the whole way around, and it doesn't just sort of wave around too much all over the place. Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. It's not a sword you're used to, and you need all your fingers. That's better. Okay. Hey. You know about that new film? Haven't they told you yet?
Yeah, and again. Don't you rotten person, you.
You're coming out quite fast and then you're slowing down again when you get here.
Oh.
Rather than a continuous accelerate bomb. It's all about.
You only come here for a cheap shave. Come on outside the focus.
That's the old face,
Look at that. Look at that.
I've been directed wrong by.
The second is wonderful, but all day tomorrow, much practice, so I should be. I have to borrow his sword.
After a long drive, we arrived at Oshita Sensei's dojo. Oshita Sensei was Haruna Sensei's student and was introduced to Faye during one of their many visits to the United Kingdom.
Technique, I keep stopping and snapping.
Eh? Yeah.
How did you do it so smoothly? Oh, deliver.
Oshita Sensei is known for his clean and refined style.
Keep center. 1, 2, 3. Stand up. 1. Soft and soft. 2. Nice.
Faye may be having a hard time, but it is an honor to be given so much attention.
Another heavy schedule of training tomorrow. On average, we've been doing about 8 hours a day, 4 or 5 hours in the afternoon and 3 to 4 hours in the evening. Did you find you stick this on the floor?
No, because the pillows. Have you seen them? The pillows are like. For those who are familiar with the West Indian community, the pillows are like kidney beans. They're in a kidney bean with a cotton, and they're that big. Right? So if you imagine sleeping on a bag of kidney beans, gungu peas, red-eyed peas. That's exactly that.
A big head.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite enough of that. Let's get back to the dojo.
No, senor.
It is total dedication to practice both day and night.
Once more. Oh, high. Cut.
No matter the hardships, Faye has ultimate trust and respect to her sensei.
You're quite keen to do it now, aren't you?
I wouldn't mind, actually. You know, I've seen those brothers flex. Straight. I'm thinking to myself, not many are breaking out in sweat unless they're nervous. Yeah, it appeals to me. I think it's a nice thing to do. You can just have a little. It has this grace element. It's not really attacking an opponent. It's executing the style of the kata. But of course, there are scenarios surrounding them as to why you're making the movements the way you are. The opponent coming towards you, or you're surround. And yeah.
The sword of the samurai becomes a part of them, forming a single entity. A unity of mind, body, and spirit.
When they're in the Western clothing, they look very vulnerable.
Yeah.
The moment they don the, what do they call the suit?
Yeah, the kikogi and the hakama.
Right, and the hakama. Suddenly, that short stature takes on this enormous,
it's funny,
dangerous look.
Yeah. If you look at Master Sensei,
Right.
he looks very sort of gentle and as soon as he does it,
He can growl,
It grows, isn't it?
and it's the stare.
And it's the perception of self, even the strict strong, slow string.
Oh, it shows the strength.
And you don't want to get near it, do you?
No, you don't actually, and this is the point I'm making.
Arms spread. No hip, no back. Oh. Touch feet. No. Hit. Oh, like this. Like this now.
Cleaning the floor is as much a part of showing respect as well as showing readiness for learning.
I'm exhausted before the lesson.
It is total dedication to practice both day and night. And even I'm feeling the pinch.
No.
A cup that is already full cannot be filled.
Like this.
I'm struggling with doing this right. I'm struggling with coordination, communication with mind, body, spirit. I'm struggling with all these things. And the iaido is helping me to find the way. The key is simplicity. The key is about the gentleness, the softness, harmonising with the hardness, the yin and yang of life. Now bring those two together, and they're tremendously powerful.
Ordering more water. How do you feel? Can you take it on board?
Oh gosh, yes.
Knowing.
I did a form which I haven't been practicing these past 2 weeks. As I went to do what's known as a noto, putting the sword away, wasn't quite correct and cut through my hand. I've got one hand that's strained, I've got this hand that's cut, and I've got an ankle that's also giving me some problems. But you still got to forward your head.
Look fast. Turn. Cut. Sit. This. Like this. Like this. The body ga. No. Okay, like this. Like this. 何そんな Like this. Like this. Okay. And understand.
There's a lot of emotion stirring now, and I'm feeling a bit sort of anxious, excited, nervous, so it's a lot of mixed emotions. So yes, I'm going in with a positive mind and I'm going to do my best. If I make a mistake, I'll have to accept the consequences, and if I feel I've done my best and the judges still don't pass me, then again I'm going to have to consider coming back next year and working harder. I won't give up.
Like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this.
We have just arrived to an invasion of swords. The atmosphere is electric. Last chance for final practice.
After it's started, when the 6 standers are starting, we'll go and have a cup of coffee or a snack or something. Have you eaten yet?
No.
Right, so you need something to eat. Okay, there's a restaurant downstairs.
Faye is quiet. She tells me about Fudishin, being calm and fearless in the face of adversity, and smiles. Like a piece of crude steel, exposed to extreme temperatures, beaten by a hammer and baptized in cold water. So the students progress until ready for the finest polish to reveal their true character.
My heart was racing for you.
Isn't it terrible? I could hear my heart. As I got closer up the chairs, it just was like this. I was thinking, this is terrible. What am I doing here?
Sorry. Total concentration.
Oh well, I've done my best. Oh no, I did it. No, it could have been better. So I think it's another trip next year. I have learnt so much, so I'm taking back something very important, the knowledge, the learning, the experience. I can take that back with me and pass that on to my students.
thousands of miles traveled, 2 weeks of hard work in the dojo boils down to 6 minutes. Faye has done all that she can. All we can do now is wait.
I'd be very surprised if I've passed. Because in here, I don't feel it was my best. And I now know I'm going to do everything I possibly can to take my own sword, so that next year it'll be me and my sword. That's what I needed. I didn't feel at one. So my sword will be with me next time, by hook or by crook. So it's been a great experience. And I'm not going to look at the board when they put the numbers in, because I'll just be too... that's the worst part.
Faye failed her first attempt, and the second. But in her usual style of determined self-belief and the sheer will to succeed, stripping back all distractions, entered the arena once again.
In iaido, we need to be sharp yet soft, in control but able to relax and let go. Be respectful, compassionate, and show no fear. The path is unknown, yet the goal is clear.
Out of 180 practitioners, only 14 passed that day, and Faye was one of them.